What's up? I'm Empathetic Chicken, and I'm gonna do sort of a different kind of video. I mean, it's not really different for me because in the past I used to do like video journals, but this gonna be like a little bit more personal, I guess, just to talk about like some lessons that I've been learning. Cause yeah, I'm going through some major life transitions, like currently. I mean, I feel like I've gone through a lot in the past year. I mean, just to name a few, or a couple. Like, my dad died, I had to see that. And then I had to move into his house, and then I left an 11-year relationship. First time being on my own, So it's been a process, but here recently, the next little tower moment, or whatever you want to call it, crumbling of the whole foundation, is I got fired from my job, and I've been there for like 2 years, so it's almost like that's the final piece of my old self, just fading away. No, but I mean, despite the bleakness of everything right now, I feel like at least I'm able to gain some wisdom from it. I mean, I don't know where other people are as far as finding meaning in the madness, but it helps me to feel like life isn't just a cruel joke, even though it kind of feels that way a lot. Especially if your mind won't allow you to see the lesson or the good of the situation, because my mind rarely allows that, but I come to my senses eventually. But anyways, rambling aside, the real reason I wanted to do this video, excuse the setting, I had to take my mom to another appointment, but the reason it's so hot I wanted to do this video is to talk about self-sacrifice, because it's a theme, a common theme in my life that I've noticed, and there are reasons behind it that I've learned. I mean, I don't know, it's with every experience, my understanding of how I do this deepens, and I see where it's still running my life. But I mean, the gist of it is I just kind of feel, or the way I was, the way I grew up, I just felt like I had to sacrifice who I was to earn love, approval, or whatever. And I don't think it was necessarily an intentional thing. It just kind of happened that way because I just came from a very chaotic family, so I just wanted to keep the peace a lot of the time. I didn't really allow myself to have a voice or be a part of the conflict, because there was already enough of it. It was ain't no space for me. I can't have a voice. So I just was silent. And just kind of tried to stay neutral and on everybody's good side, I mean, that sounds a little manipulative. I don't know. I ain't even call it that. It's what I knew to do, what I felt I needed to do. I was the peacekeeper. I had to stay on good terms with everybody, because I felt like I couldn't live with anybody hating me or whatever. So that's one aspect of it. And then I don't know, I was really attached to my mom growing up, because she had her dealings. I don't want to be telling her story, but she just struggled a lot, so I was there for her and worried about her a lot, and I just worried that I was gonna lose her, so I just showed up for her, because I felt I needed her to know hey, I love you, I want you around. I don't know, it came from a fear of losing my mom, but I wanted her to know somebody cared, even though it wasn't really my job to do that. I just, as a kid, I didn't know what else to do. So yeah, that's another aspect of this whole thing. And I feel like I kind of like interpreted that as like, okay, in order to feel loved, I have to be like sacrificing myself, like, or accepted. Like, I have to, you know, give all of myself. But I'm noticing this little trait, like, and how it played a role at my job, because, like, I don't know, like, I don't know, somehow I've made sense of it in my head that, like, I have to suffer. I don't know why I'm laughing, but it's just like, if I'm not suffering, I'm not doing it right, because, like, I haven't earned. What am I trying? I feel like I'm really scattered. Like, I know what I'm trying to say, but, like, I'm not able to make it all flow as well as I would like to, but I'm gonna just go with it. But I just had this thing where, like, I felt like I had to work, like, I have to work hard and earn people's acceptance and approval, and, like, I don't deserve any of that unless I'm, like, suffering for it. Does that make sense? So I don't know if that, like, makes sense to how it, like, ties in to the self-sacrifice thing, but I feel like it makes sense in my head, so maybe you get what I'm saying. So yeah, so that would kind of play out as, like, I would kind of do, like, the difficult parts of the job and refuse help because, like, I'm strong, like, I can handle it, like, I'm used to suffering, like, that's what I gotta do to deserve to be here and deserve to exist, really. Like, that's what I told myself. And not, like, necessarily, like, I know some people don't like accepting help because it means, well, I mean, I can't even say that I'm not like this either, but, like, sometimes people think, like, well, if I accept help, then it means I'm weak. I mean, I guess I have an issue with that, too. Like, I don't want to be perceived as, like, needy or weak, which that kind of ties into, like, the whole self-sacrifice thing, too, because I feel like because I've had to, like, sacrifice me, it feels almost like I'm not allowed to need things or, like, want things, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, I have made it seem as if, like, me wanting things or needing things is a bad thing, just because it wasn't like, you know, my first instinct to, like, allow myself to have needs and, you know, to be, like, to take up space too. So I don't know. I'm just, like, really trying to, like, understand the lesson behind all of this, because that was a big lesson, like, that I did gain from this job, is, like, learning how to, like, be more open to receiving help and, like, standing my ground more, almost. Even though, like, I feel like that's kind of what got me fired, because I got to a point where, like, I would speak my mind, like, whereas before I would never have to say, like, never speak up for anything. Like, I just accept suffering, like, but, like, at this job, like, I was put in situations where, like, I didn't have things that I needed to do my job, and I guess, like, I just got so sick of, like, being quiet that, like, I just, like, took the lid off, and, like, it was just, like, no going back, man. Like, I just didn't tell you how I felt, and, like, I feel like that wasn't always received in the most positive way, I guess, like, because maybe my tone, like, you don't know how to read my tone sometimes, like, I come off as a little, I've been told I come off as a little harsh and blunt, which, I mean, I just feel like sometimes the truth hurts, but no, I don't know. I know that, like, some of my, a lot of my delivery of my, like, communicating my needs has a layer of, like, frustration attached to it, because I've been silent for so long, I think. Like, it's just kind of like bottled up. So now it's just like I need stuff. And I haven't had it for this long. So now I'm like freaking out inside. Like, I'm just angry. So yeah. So I don't necessarily think that it's a bad thing that I started speaking up and like having a voice and having needs and accepting that about myself. Even though like this whole situation is kind of like inviting me into that story to like feel like, well, you shouldn't have opened up. Like, you shouldn't have had needs. You shouldn't have like, you know, been your own person. And like, I don't know. Because a part of me has like been beating myself up about this, because like the reason that I was told that I got fired is because of my attitude and that I want things my way all the time, which, I mean, I can understand how it would seem that way, but I also have had to like take a hard look at myself and see where that might have come from. Like, even if, I ain't gonna lie, like, I have a problem with like when things feel like out of sorts, or like things like at work when they would not make sense to me, like just the way we would do them, I would get like upset and kind of like get a little moody. My freaking lip is sticking in my teeth, I'm sorry. But yeah, it wasn't like, whenever I would do that, it was never like intentional, like that I was freaking out or being rude to people. It was more so coming from a place of like being stressed and just like reacting. And I'm not like justifying my little temper tantrums, because like I don't like being that way, but I just like just understanding where I've come from, like the chaotic like household. Like, not make excuses, but like when you grow up in like trauma, you kind of just like want things to be like kind of within your control. Like, it's like it makes you feel safer to like not have things just like, I like know what's up. Like, that was another like criticism that I received at this job, is that like I'm not good with change and that I need to be more flexible. But the thing with this job is like, it was just like there was hardly any like organization ever. So like I can understand that I need to be more flexible, but it's just like you come to a point where you're like, well, how much flexibility like can I have? Like, things shouldn't constantly be like so chaotic. But I mean, that's besides the point. Like, I'm just saying, like, I understand that I have issues with things like when they don't flow, and it's just like, you know, I just feel better when I'm in control of the situation. So yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but like I just see where this whole like dynamic of like sacrificing myself has become an issue, and like kind of threw me off balance, because like now that I am sort of like putting myself first, it kind of seems to everybody else like I'm being like selfish and like forward and blunt and just like overpowering, which maybe I am, because I haven't figured out how to balance it yet. Like, that's another possibility. Like, I'm accountable. I'm owning up to like my faults here. Like, I know I'm not perfect. I don't expect anyone else to be, even though I expect myself to be a lot, which is why I deal with a lot of like self-hatred and like, you know, punishing myself for just being human and existing, when it's alright. And I don't expect other people to like, you know, have it all figured out either, even though I do that to myself. So yeah, I don't know if this will help anybody else. I just feel like being honest and like sharing a lesson that I'm currently dealing with, because like another realization I had was like having the job. I mean, aside from needing income, like obviously I gotta like pay bills and stuff and survive. Like, aside from that, like this whole job, like it kind of was like a crutch for me, as far as like receiving, or I guess like my, like the illusion that I have received my dad's approval. I mean, because like before he passed, like he never really cared that I was into like art stuff and like, he never really supported anything else that I've done. Like, even though I went to school, like, I'm like the only person in our family that went to school. And I'm not like saying that I'm better because I did that, but I'm just saying, like, I was like, I kind of did something that no one else in the family did, but it was never like encouraged or valued. Like, I don't know, which, I mean, it's understandable because like he didn't really go that route. He just always worked really hard for what he had and didn't like go the whole education route. And so like I always just kind of felt like everything I did was just like not enough or like appreciated by anybody. Like, I never had any like encouragement. So like when I got that job after my little therapy thing fell through, like, he was actually proud of me for that, because it was like pretty much probably what he knew. Like, it was a job where I made money and I like worked hard, and that's what he valued. So like, of course he was gonna value it when he saw me doing it. Because I mean, I don't take it personally anymore like I used to, because I understand like he didn't go that route. So like, he's not gonna value education. And I mean, it is what it is. So like, anyway, like, even though I know it doesn't really matter if he approved of me or not, it did give me like some sense of satisfaction to know that like, all right, he's proud of me finally. Like, I'm finally doing something that like, you know, he accepts and like sees me for. So like, I know I kind of like clung to this job because I just felt like, well, he's finally proud of me. Like, even in his death, like, at least he died like being proud of me. Which, I mean, that's cool and all, but like, was I really happy packing cheese? No. I mean, I did, like, that's the thing. I do enjoy like hard work. Like, that is one thing I got from my, I don't know if he enjoyed it, but like, he was good at it. Like, I don't mind doing like a good day's work. I enjoy earning what I get. Like, even aside from like the need to like feel like I need to earn my existence, like, I do enjoy earning things and like, you know, making my own way. But like, is it really like my little soul's calling? No. Like, that's part of where like my little anger was coming in too. It's just like in the back of my head, just feeling like, well, I'm having to sacrifice my dreams for this company and make them rich, whereas like I'm here needing like basic things to do my job and they're not giving them to me. I'm having to suffer like for someone else's dreams, and I'm not sitting here like pursuing my own. So that was another level of just like the little self-sacrifice. Like, I was keeping this job because it was almost like I felt like I had to like keep my dad's approval, like, even though he's dead and it doesn't even matter anymore. And the real approval I need is my own. But like, I just felt like that I gained a little sense of pride from that, and then like it was almost like an excuse not to like put myself first, just like keep that little pattern of self-sacrifice. Yeah, I don't know if I'm like reaching here, but I just feel like I like understood this on like a whole nother level. Because like, I would want to work on like my deck and stuff and like my channel and prioritize my art stuff, because that's like really what I want to do. But then I would just use the excuse of like, well, I'm just so drained from work, like, I don't have any energy. And then like this whole time I have just been like trying to get like the house in order, because like it was like a traumatic move. Like, when I broke up with my partner, like his dad kind of like kicked us out of the house, and I didn't really have, it was like Christmas too, so like it was like the first Christmas without my dad. It was just a horrible situation. Like, oh my god. I've just been through some stuff. Like, I know everybody goes through stuff, but I'm just saying, like, god, this is like a trying period for me. But yeah, I just had to like pack up ship and like leave, and didn't even get a chance to like clear out the house when my dad died, or like, you know, it was just, and my sister's stuff was still there, I think, and I don't even remember, but it all worked out. Anyway, I just had to like throw all the junk in there and just like live around it, and like cope with the fact that I was living in the house where my dad died. Like, I had to see, like, everything, and it's just like, it hasn't been an easy ride. So, I forget where I was going. But I'm just saying, like, I just have been trying to get my thing, like, my life in order. But this job was really draining me. Like, I understand now as much as I, like, was attached to it. Like, it really was, like, sucking me dry and making me, like, that spiteful kind of, like, you know, like, I don't know if other people get like this, but I feel like sometimes, or every job that I've ever had, like, it started off tolerable, and then, like, the longer I was there, I just, like, got more and more, like, spiteful. Like, and that's how you know it's kind of, like, time to go, when those feelings of just, like, resentment, which it was never, I say it was never really the job. Some aspects of the job. Like, the parts that, like, hurt when I didn't have what I needed, like the freaking basic can opener. But, you know, I'm not gonna rant. But, yeah, like, it's just, when you get to that point where you're, like, resentful because, like, your freedom is compromised, that's kind of time when it's time to go. Which I'm kind of at a standstill where I'm like, is that going to be how it is at any job? I don't know. But I do know this whole self-sacrifice deal, that's coming to an end. Like, and I understand there's got to be a compromise. I still have to, like, make money. But I feel like I'm gonna need more balance in the future. Somehow, some way. I'm kind of in a little, like, lull period where I don't know. I mean, I just got fired on Thursday, so, like, I'm trying to, like, give myself some time to, like, process and, like, figure out what I'm doing. Because I thought I had a job lined up, and that fell through. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know anymore. Like, I'm trying to have faith and all that. Like, trust in the unknown, as I've been getting from my little cards, like, this whole time. But it's just proven to be a big challenge, like, to put myself first and what I really want to do. Like, I don't know. There's a part of me that's, like, really, like, real, like, rational and doesn't want to, like, lean into, like, the little spiritual side. As much as, like, I believe in it, it's like the other half of me is just, like, a skeptic. And I'm like, you really expect that this is going to work? Like, if you really trust that, like, you're going to figure it out without any kind of evidence, like, how? I don't know. I've been on this weird, like, little journey lately of just, like, yeah, strengthening my little trust in myself and whatever I believe in, like, a little spirit and all that. But yeah. Yeah, that's where I'm at. But I'm gonna take this time to, like, put myself first while I have some downtime. Start working on my deck, maybe make some videos, because, like, I'm just feeling, like, inspired. Excuse me. Now that I have, like, time to reflect and don't have a job in my face at the moment. I mean, got one more paycheck coming, so oh, that'll tide me over for a little minute. But yeah, if you need a reading or you want to buy a deck or anything, no pressure, but now would be a very helpful time for me if you did purchase something. That's not why I did this video. I'm just saying, like, I really do want to, like, start prioritizing my little online business, because that's what I really want to do. And be realistic about it. Like, I understand it's not going to be, like, overnight success, but, like, I believe in what I can do. I got a lot of knowledge to share. Like, I might not have, like, pursued therapy, but, like, I know a couple things and I can help people. I don't even necessarily feel like I'm the one that helps people. I just think sometimes people just need somebody else to hold space for them so they can, like, help themselves. Because, like, in my experience, like, with therapy and working with other, like, you know, spiritual healer people, it's really just been a matter of, like, me already knowing the answers, but, like, them holding the space for me to, like, realize it, you know? So I don't think I have some magical power, like, that's gonna fix anybody. I don't feel like that's a good mindset to have anyways. I just think we're all just here doing our best, like learning if we choose to. I mean, if that's your thing, like that's what makes me feel okay with existing, is like feeling like this is all for my growth and trying to like figure out what I can learn whenever stuff goes awry. Which it's clearly going for me at the moment. But yeah, now that I've like released the attachment to that, because I feel like that was my identity for a while. Like I worked at that job. That's who I was, is what I did. Now I can't be clinging to that anymore. I got to like ask myself, like, what do I really want to put my energy into? And I clearly wasn't happy putting my energy into that as much as I was capable of doing it. Like I just did it because I'm used to self-sacrificing, like really. So yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. And I've noticed like my whole thing stems from like a lack of belief in myself. So like that's another aspect. Like I do a lot of things, or I invest in a lot of things, and then I don't like follow through with them because I'm afraid that like it won't work out. So maybe the universe is just like testing me and be like, hey, like now or never. You're either gonna do this or you're gonna lose everything. But yeah, I'm in an alright spot. Like I'm alright. I'm gonna be alright. So yeah, I don't know. Just wanted to show up and be like, hey, anybody else struggling, going through a tough time, like I feel you. I'm in the same boat. I'm not the same boat because we're all different, but like I'm human too, learning to jump, trying to see the light. Anywho, I don't know. Just felt like being real. Let you know where I'm at. If you like this, like, let me know, because I mean, I used to share more personal stuff, but then I kind of like, when I started doing the whole business route thing, like I was trying to be more like professional or whatever. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with like, you know, being like having boundaries and not like sharing every little aspect of stuff, because sometimes you'll need to be exposed. But like, I mean, I don't mind being vulnerable. Like, I'm okay with it to an extent. Like, I think it's all right to like, you know, show up and just be real, because I'm a human being, and I don't got it figured out either. And I think if a lot more people would just accept that and understand that about everybody else, then they wouldn't feel so crappy about themselves. Because we ain't trying to like compete out here, even though like society tries to like make us. Like, we don't have to. But I'm gonna just try to get out my own way and see what happens. But yeah, if you like this, let me know. If you're dealing with something similar or just want to share, like, I'd love to talk to you. I like conversations. And like I said, if you need a little reading or a deck or whatever, check my little description. I'll put the links in there. Very much appreciated. And I'll be back. Thanks for listening. Love you.